What is up, guys? Bachman's Garage back at you again. This is part 4 of the drag bike build, the miniature drag bike build that is. We currently have it in the base of the frame. There still has to be some bracing and stuff done. There's some welds that have to be gone over, some are just tacked in place, but we have the base of what the motorcycle is going to look like. The stem has been welded on a 20, or stock is 27 degrees. It's on a 30-degree angle. And then I welded this half-inch piece of plate steel in. Yes, I'm not the best welder, but they're solid, they'll hold. So I drilled a 1.5-inch hole through it, a little bit of weight reduction. This is the steering wheel hoop that I ordered off of Go Power Sports. So that goes across the piece in the front with 1/8-inch flat stock, 2 Go Power Sports gussets, and then the 083 tubing going back, going up. This is where the seat will lay out. I'll have a good amount of space right in here from those marks forward for mounting other things. And then it goes up on a 30-degree angle to the upper tube. You can see I got a little bit of fill to do in there. I'm going to try to cut out a piece of tubing to fit in there and then weld it in place. And then I might brace it in between here somehow. But in this area is where I'm going to have my CDI and the little bit of a wiring harness that there is going to be, and the gas tank. I'll show you my plan with that here in a little bit. I've cut this out so that way my chain can pass through from my sprocket. Sprocket hub is not lined up right now. The wheel's just kind of mocked up in there. This piece I have cut and grinded and fit in here to brace this, because I can't do any structural bracing from this point to the frame because I need all this space for my chain and my chain adjuster in order to do that. The other side, though, I will brace with a piece that is cut on a 45 on one end and then kind of beveled out on the other end, and a Go Power Sports gusset will go on top of that. These were custom ordered engine mount bolts. They are stainless, 10 millimeter. Those were a pain in the ass to find. Just wanted to throw that in there. These are going to be the runners that go across the frame that my engine mount will then sit on. So that took me quite a while to build, and then I drilled some holes for, you know, little weight reduction. These two little ones in the back, though, those are plug weld holes because it's going to be attached to this 1/2-inch plate steel. And then I have this piece that I'm not going to butt weld, but I'm going to put the 1/8-inch on top here. That's an original piece from the YZ85 frame for the coil to mount to. In the last video, you've seen the bottom end of the engine and it going together. Well, top end is now on. The reed block and the spacer is now in. The covers are on. Water pump and pump covers on. I got a 13-tooth chromoly sprocket from PBI. It's some website on eBay, but they were very recommended sprockets for long wear and use. Got the other boys and cover on this side. It's just hard to see. And then I have the plug coming off. And what my plan is with the electrical system is I'm just going to plug this directly into the side of this 3D printed box that I had a friend of mine make for me. I'm going to drill a hole through the side of it and then have my CDI in here and a little bit of a wiring harness, and then I'm just going to have the one plug come out the other end of the box so I can plug the motor directly into it, so it'll clean up all the wiring. So you'll only see this wire coming off of the motor into the CDI box, and then you will see the plug wire going onto the head. And then obviously you'll see one tiny cluster of wires going to the kill switch up to the handlebar. So it's literally the most minimal wiring possible. Sorry, I'm kind of blowing through this. I'm trying to make 2 videos in one day. So this is where we are at with the frame on the miniature drag bike. The seat I am using is a Cafe Racer seat. It's kind of a universal one. Not really important right now. This piece mounts to those 2 bolts in the front. This is going to be welded to the frame. I'm going to tack weld these in place and then remove it off of the bike. I'll weld the rest of them, and then I'll let them cool, put them back on the seat, mount the seat onto the front portion of the frame, and then because the seat has a upward slope to it in the back, we're going to see about making a mount to go to that, and I'm thinking a hard mount directly to the frame, or maybe something detachable. I'm not sure, because you can detach the seat from there, so that's the plan for that. Yeah, I just got to do a little bit more cutting, grinding, welding. She's slowly getting there. And this bike, yes, it's designed to go in a straight line. Yes, I built a jig to try to keep everything as straight as possible, but this bike is kind of like Elton John. It's not the straightest thing, but it'll perform. So we're going to run it. We're going to full send and see exactly what kind of times we can get out of a stock bore YZ85 motor with torque spacer, Boys and Reeds, a jetted carburetor, performance exhaust system, and high power clutch springs and clutch plates. And other than that, it's just all gear ratio. So that's where we are at right now. Hopefully the next video will be a little longer, a little more detailed. I can show you a little bit more interesting things, but give you a once over of the bike. And yes, I'm aware it has quite the ground clearance, but that's the best way I can make it work with this tire here. I could have made drop downs to go lower to the ground, but I don't know. I think it'll handle okay. It is overall still a fairly short bike. It's definitely shorter than an 85. I would say it's probably close to like a 110, maybe like a Honda 100 height. So, all right, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Later.